The restroom was humid and unlit. The walls seemed to be closing in on her. It didn't help that her heart was beating fast, and her legs were exhausted. Her body felt heavy. The sound of the running tap was distorted, and her image in the mirror was blurry. She had to hold on to her consciousness, otherwise she would die from blood loss. Her breath was shallow and weak. She needed to move and lock the door, else it would have an easy time getting to her. The first step was manageable. The second almost made her slip, but she leaned on the sink, the water splashing on her face. Her eyelids grew heavy. I can't even move. Fuck, she muttered between shallow breaths. Her consciousness blurred as her legs gave out. Just as her head was about to smash into the sink, a lean arm held her up. A sweet voice sounded.
Let me help you there.
She felt her body lighten, and her breath slowed and deepened. Her eyes focused. She was able to make out the handsome face with red eyes in the mirror. An angular face with a smile. The glowing red blood on his mouth certainly added a sense of charm to his protruding fangs. The sound of the water running cleared her mind as she started to struggle against his hold. Her eyes dilated in fear as the hairs on her neck stood erect. The man's smile grew wider as his clawed fingers revealed her white neck that contrasted with her bloody shirt. The blood flowing from the 2 holes in her neck was viscous. Her struggles grew stronger. She wanted to scream, but her mouth wouldn't move. Her body froze. The arm holding her up let go, but she couldn't move. The man's face drew closer to her own. She could feel his cold breath on her neck.
It's finally time for you to become my bloodkin, dear Luna.
Luna's eyes glared furiously at the face in the mirror. If looks could kill, he would have died thousands of times over. But she was powerless. She should have chosen a better room than an enclosed room with no escape. At least one with some moonlight. Soon she would become a puppet of this devil. Oh, how she would have loved to have her gun and silver bullets. Alas, public defense said it was unnecessary with how easy the mission would be. His fangs dug into her neck with precision, a motion clearly practiced. Soon, her hair started turning red. Of all the things she had to deal with, dealing with the vampire devil itself was not one she had on that list. She should have known when she saw how well maintained the corpses seemed. Overconfidence was indeed a slow and insidious killer. Soon enough, when all of her hair turned red, her reflection in the mirror faded. She closed her eyes. The pain in her neck soon turned into pleasure, setting her mind aflame with anger. An androgynous voice sounded from behind them.
Thy kind and kin at each moment findeth a bath disrupts this one's peace and quiet. This one has to now of thee and thy kin.
The sound of flapping wings reverberated around the room. The vampire devil withdrew his fangs from Luna's neck. His smile gone, replaced with a look of displeasure.
So, you are the one that's been dealing with my kin. I already thought this night was wonderful, and to have you deliver yourself to me makes this just a night of all time,
said the vampire devil.
I will deal with you in a bit, dear Luna.
Luna's eyes opened in hope, but soon that hope turned into despair as she saw a small devil with flapping wings and a hovering pair of horns. It seemed that tonight was her last night as a human. Not that she was human at this point anymore. The vampire devil frowned. He couldn't use his full power, otherwise the room would crumble and the moonlight would spill in, giving Luna the chance to escape. The abilities of the moon devil were displeasing to deal with. A cut formed on the vampire devil's wrist as blood seeped and morphed into bats with hawk talons and sharp wings. The bats started to swarm towards the dice-shaped devil. The sound of screeching and wings flapping filled the small room. A number on the devil's body flashed, and the bats came to a crashing halt as they dissolved into blood. Only a few bats remained. A tail came and wrapped around one, its small body unable to move despite how soft and fragile the tail seemed. The clawed fingers of the vampire devil extended. They seemed to shine with the color of blood. Perhaps it was the trick of the light. The devil swung its claw, the speed of it warping the air. As the claw approached the dice devil, a number flashed on its body. 1. Its tail moved, releasing the bat it held as the tip morphed into a sharp edge gleaming with a metallic glow, cutting the bat in 2 halves. The bat dissolved into golden light, which imbued itself into the metallic edge of the tail. As both sides met, the screeching sound of a nail dancing on the blackboard filled the room. As the warped air of the claw met the ground and the walls, fissures and marks were left. However, the dice devil remained unharmed. The number on its body changed into a 6. The vampire devil retracted his claws.
I should have known you wouldn't be too weak. Otherwise, this would be too boring.
As the vampire devil finished talking, the number on the dice devil changed to 8.
Thou art dogged in this meaningless hurly-burly,
said the dice devil. The vampire devil snorted in displeasure as his eyes glowed a crimson red. Luna felt her body contort and squeeze as blood began to pour from her wounds and orifices. Had she not been halfway transformed into a bloodkin, she would have already died twofold. The dice devil remained unharmed.
Thee has too much karma, and thy karma remains unpaid. Alloweth this one to best the collector of thy debt.
As the androgynous voice finished sounding, a purple dice rolled on the floor. A number flashed on the blank purple crystal. 20.
Thy karma is forth too heavy. Thy karma taints this one's presence. Begone!
As the devil finished talking, the vampire devil crumbled onto the ground, blood spilling from his orifices.
You! No, it can't be you!
Before the vampire could finish talking, a wooden stake pierced his heart. He glared at the red hair hovering to his side. His body distorted and transformed into a pathetic bat. The vampire devil fled into the fissures on the wall. Luna looked at the dice devil floating ahead. Make a contract with me, and I will give you a place where you can find peace and quiet, Luna said with tired eyes. The dice's eyes gazed at Luna, and the voice sounded again.
Fake human.